Alabama finally nabs their first transfer portal player, and they get a lot of depth in the tight ends room with the guy that they landed. Maybe the next Robbie Oots. We'll talk about that and the NFL draft. Where are those guys going? Jaylen Miller. Where's he going to end up? Tyler Booker, Jahad Campbell. I don't know. We're going to get into that right here on the Bama Tailgate Show. So like, subscribe, thumbs up. Great to see you guys today. Roll Tide, baby. Let's go. What do you say, everybody? And welcome to the show. Mick Gillespie at Broadcaster Mick as we talk to you guys on a daily basis. What'd you think of Shank? He's on the team now. We just recruited Shank. It's a big offensive lineman. He's hilarious. I've always been a big fan. I think if you guys know from watching Elephant in the Room, some of my other shows, I've always been a big fan of Shank, and I'm really excited about him jumping on here and doing some stuff with us. So get the comment section, but he cracked me up. So much fun talking Alabama football with him, and we'll get back together with him maybe tomorrow. So anyway, NFL draft day, we're going to talk about that. But first, Bama strikes in the transfer portal, and it's Jack Sammarco, who they got a tight end out of West Virginia. Now, remember, West Virginia went back and rehired Rich Rodriguez. Rich Rodriguez had success at Jacksonville State, and he earned this opportunity to go back home. This was a school that he just about got them to a national championship game. And, he's changing the system. Obviously, he's kind of, I feel like he's almost like the godfather of the spread. I don't know if he really is or not, but he's going to bring the spread there. And, for Jack Sammarco, a guy from the Cincinnati area, he hit the transfer portal on April 17th, and now he's coming to Alabama. Bama needed a tight end bad, and I think this is just the first of some more moves that are going to be made, but they were really thin in that spot. This is a guy that played in every game for West Virginia, didn't catch many balls, but in 13 games, he had one catch for 4 yards. But he's out there to block, kind of like that Robbie Oots type thing. He was a 3-star recruit out of Anderson High School. His senior year, the guy caught 27 balls and had 5 touchdowns. But he's a blocker, and that's what Alabama needed. They lost a lot of depth in the in this year's roster with C.J. Dupree and my man Robbie Oots. They also, remember, we thought it was going to be Brody Dalton, the guy from Troy, but instead they go with this guy to join Josh Cuevas, Danny Lewis, Jay Lindsey, Caleb Edwards, the guy that's going to be joining the team, and then Marshall Pritchett. So and then none of those guys were healthy during the spring game and the whole spring practice. So you're going, you know what? We need some depth here. We need a big body, and this is a guy that provides that. And Jack Sammarco. The other thing that you love to hear is that he's got a great personality. That he's a very likable guy, that he's got a big time personality. People like him. Not just a big player that's 250 pounds and can block, but he is a very smart guy that just is fun to be around. And that, he's got 3 years of eligibility, and that he's going to fit in great with the program. And that's something that when you heard Kalen DeBoer talk about guys transferring, he talked about, basically being careful about the guys that they bring in. He cared about team culture, Kalen DeBoer. He cared about chemistry. He wanted someone that was going to be able to slide in all these transfers and fit in what they do. He said, we'll be careful talking about that. So this is the guy that they went after and they got from West Virginia. He comes in with some experience. He can block. The coach that he went to play for there isn't there anymore. And I don't know, I don't know if they would have had a spot for him with Rich Rod. What do you have big blocking tight ends in the spread? It doesn't feel like you do, but Alabama certainly could use him, and this was a good get for them. So you're talking about a guy 6'5", 240 pounds, a sophomore, played all 13 games last year at WVU, and now he'll join Alabama. So kind of that thin area on scholarship. Here's the scholarship guys. When you look at it. So congratulations to Alabama on the get. Now, the second thing I wanted to talk about, but first let me remind you that we're brought to you by Pearl River Resort over in Philadelphia, Mississippi. So Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, it's the Augusta you can play, the Azaleas, the Oaks, beautiful right now. You don't even need a membership. Hour and a half from Tuscaloosa, 2 hours and change from Birmingham over at Pearl River. All right, NFL Draft, it's here. And everyone talking about Jaylen Miller if the rumors on the street are that if Jaylen Miller came back, everybody was going to transfer because he's a running quarterback that wanted to throw in the pocket, right? And it's funny to hear that. I don't think Alabama ever had a plan on him coming back. They gave basically his NIL money to other players, from what I understand, and whatever. I mean, it is what it is. He was Alabama's starting quarterback last year. He was really good in some games, and he wasn't good in other games. But we wish him the very best. I have no idea where the guy's going to be drafted. Absolutely no idea. You hear scouts talk about him, and they're like, man, this guy's got, so much of everything that you need to be a superstar. But is he going to be one? And who's going to take a chance on him? He's going to be at the NFL draft, and he plays quarterback. First, second round. I could see him going in the first round, probably not high in the first round, but maybe later in the first round. Teams always want quarterbacks. We'll see. Now, I'm going to be curious to see where Tyler Booker ends up. You can't listen to this coaching staff and not hear how much they appreciate Booker. They talk about him being the smartest guy, the best work ethic, the best player, and he was on that offensive line. You figure that somebody early in the draft is going to take him. They take offensive linemen pretty heavy early because of the fact that they're so important. And then Jahad Campbell, the linebacker. I expect both of those guys, all the mock drafts have them going middle of the first round. So those three guys for Alabama have a chance to be drafted in the first round. But it's going to be great television from Green Bay, Wisconsin, and we'll see kind of how things end up. But the NFL drafts become such an event, and Bama's got those two guys in there doing it. All right, look, you got some questions. You got some questions for Shank. You got some questions for me. Get in the comment section and go ahead and shoot away. I expect Alabama to continue to do work in the transfer portal. I think this is the first of I think they need a punter. I think they need a defensive lineman, maybe two. We'll see what happens there. Maybe another offensive lineman could be coming our way as well. But they had to address tight end. They wanted someone that can block and be physical, and they did that with the pickup of Jack Sammarco from West Virginia. So congratulations to Alabama on adding a tight end to the mix. Show is always presented by our friends at New Life Art. You guys pimp out your man cave. I need to bring. I'm obviously at headquarters right now, and and a lot of times I'm at my in the dungeon, right? And I need something to spice up the dungeon. I think I'm going to bring a Daniel Moore print, put it on the wall because they are absolutely fantastic. But whether you're pimping out your man cave, you're doing it at your office, your college dorm, take advantage of our deal right now, 20% off when you use that code right there, Bama Tailgate at newlifeart.com. The Ryan Williams print, it's so beautiful, beating Georgia, but take advantage of them right now. How about Jalen Hurts winning the Super Bowl? We threw up a code for that for a while. You can still use 20% right now. Bama Tailgate, when you click, hey, how'd I hear about it? And then Bama Tailgate at checkout, get you 20% off. Now, the final thing I want to tell you, and I mentioned it before, Pearl River Resort, table games and slots. They've got the Timeout Sports Lounge, which is basically a Vegas-style sports book. You can go in there, watch all the games on the 20 big screen TVs, giant bar. You got the window if you need some help there. You got individual kiosks where not only you can bet, but you can actually watch games and do that live betting as well. Take advantage of it, man. It's a short trip from Tuscaloosa. They got everything you need over there. And Jay Coker and I are going to be back there really, really soon for a visit. We're lining it up right now in May, and we invite you to come over and hang out. So thanks for hanging, guys. A big pickup today for Alabama. Roll Tide.